Hello everyone. Hello teacher. Today we are going to expose the respiratory system. Okay. So today we are going to explain the respiratory system. Okay, in a clear and organized way. Okay, so you can know easily how it works. Okay, so each of us will take a specific section to keep everything simple and easy to follow. Okay, so I will start. I be first. I will start with the general function of the respiratory system. Okay, and the pathway of the air that follows before reaching the lungs. That is so important. We have to know. Okay, so first, the respiratory system main purpose is to exchange gases. The principal gases that is going to exchange are providing oxygen to the body and remove the carbon dioxide from the body. Okay, this is so much important in the respiratory system. So where's going the air that is going inside of our body? Well, the air first is going to enter through the nose. Okay, this is the first path, nose, where is filtered, humidified, and warm. But this the hair it can also enter through of the mouth that we know um, we can inhalate with the mouth and the nose. So it's so important to know. But what is the difference? The difference is in the mouth is not going to be the same level of filtration that is going to be in the nose, okay? And the nose. So from there, the air is going to pass through the pharynx, that then is going into the larynx, which contains the vocal cords, that is going to be our voice, okay? So it then travels down the trachea, a tube. This is a tube that is supported by seed shapes. Okay, this is cartilaginous rings that keeps the airway open. Okay, this is important. At the bottom, the trachea divides into two main bronchi. One is going to each lung. Okay, two lungs, two main bronchi. Okay, this bronchi branch repeatedly into smaller bronchi and eventually is going into the bronchioles. Okay, this is going to forming the bronchial 3. Okay, at the end of the bronchioles are the alveoli, the tiny sacs where gas exchange occurs, the oxygen and the carbon dioxide that I explained before to you. So that part will be explained later by one of my my friends. Okay, so this covers all the initial growth of air and the basic anatomy of the respiratory system. I give the time to my friend. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. I'll explain the lungs, the pleura, and the mechanic of breathing. The lungs are two soft, spongy organs located in the thoracic cavity. The right lung has 3 lobes, and the left lung has 2, due to the position of the hair. They are surrounded by a double membrane called the pleura, with a thin layer of fluid between the layers to reduce friction during breathing. The primary muscle responsibility for the breathing is a diaphragm. During inhalation, the diaphragm contracts and moves downward, expanding the chest cavity and allowing air to fill the lungs. During exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes and moves upward, pushing air out. Exhalation is usually passive unless we breathe forcefully. Accessory muscles, such as the intercostal muscles and subneck muscles, may assist during deeper and elaborated breathing. With this, we understand how the lungs function mechanically and how they move smoothly thanks to the pleura.
alveoli gas exchange and oxygen transport. I now explain the alveoli gas exchange and how oxygen travels through the body. At the ends of the bronchioles are the alveoli, microscopic air sacs surrounded by capillaries. Their thin walls allow for efficient diffusion of gases. During gas exchange, oxygen from the air inside the alveoli diffuses into the bloodstream, while carbon dioxide from the blood diffuses into the alveoli to be exhaled. Uh, this process is essential for maintaining normal blood oxygen and carbon dioxide levels. Um, once oxygen enters the blood, most of it binds to hemoglobin in red blood cells. This is how oxygen is transported uh, uh, throughout the body. That percentage of hemoglobin carrying oxygen is measured as oxygen saturation, typical between 95% and 100 GLT individuals. Gas exchange relies on three factors. One, ventilation, air reaching the alveoli. Two, perfusion, blood flow reaching down. Three, diffusion, gases crossing the membrane effectively. In any of these fail, oxygenation becomes impaired. uh, that completes the explanation of alveoli functions, gas exchange, and oxygen transport.
Hi, regulation of breathing and respiratory disease. I will explaining for breathing and controlling and mention some common respiratory disease. Breathing is mainly controlled via a part of the brain called the medulla oblongata. This part checks how much carbon dioxide (CO2) is in the blood. If CO2 becomes too high, the brain tells the body to breathe faster and deeper. Uh, there are there are also special sensors in the carotid arteries and aorta that notice when oxygen is too low or when the blood pH changes. These sensors help the body adjust breathing to the keep and the breathing balance. Some common respiratory diseases are asthma. The airways become thick and inflamed, making in the heart rate. COPD, a long-term disease that makes airways blocked and reduces lung capacity, often caused by smoking. Pneumonia, an infection that fills alveoli with fluid, making gas exchange difficult. Tuberculosis, a bacterial infection, and they mainly affects the lungs. COVID 19, a viral infection that can cause inflammation and lungs and reduce the oxygen levels. These diseases affect different parts in the respiratory system and can make breathing less effective. Know that we have talking about how breathing is controlled and the main respiratory disease. We have the complete and clear view of the respiratory system. Thank you very much.